You won the primary, you got married, quite a month, you know.
Right? You made a nice announcement at the dealie saying that's what I was up to rather than just bailing out. I appreciate that.
We're always there for you.
Yeah, that was good.
Let's start with the current economic situation. I'm sure you have some opinions about what's going on right now.
We're in dire straits. We're seeing this thing is expanding globally. I put out a press release on the Sunday prior to the first vote, outlining conditions under which what was planned to be done to go forward. Basically, that didn't even come close to meeting my conditions. We were put in this position because of deregulation that has taken place over the span of really more than a decade, some might even say 20 years. When we talk about repeal of Glass-Steagall, which was put in place in the 30s, relative to the depression that placed barriers between banking, insurance, and investing, and that's torn down. And then we're playing tennis with no out of bounds, and those greed then takes command, and with no boundaries, where there might have been boundaries, we've then far and away exceeded that. If it were just the mortgages, bad mortgages sold to people, sometimes with criminal circumstances being involved, like putting down falsification of income, not by the consumer necessarily, but by the loan officers. And then we move these, you take the interest rate and now you sell people who are financially unfamiliar with, how many times does anybody in this room actually, have you gotten a mortgage in your life? It's not something you do every day. You want the house, when you look at the house and you say we're going to buy the house, you're bought into it. This is just the paperwork. Have I read every line on a mortgage when I've signed it in my life, and I've probably done about 3 or 4 of them or so? No. You want the house, you're listening to what the guy or gal is telling you, and you sign where you're supposed to sign and initial where you're supposed to initial, and that's it. And so if you're not a finance person, and the first mortgage I ever took out, I did an adjustable rate mortgage, but that was when rates were very high. I still have an application form from 1980, probably 84, 85, that was like at 13%. So I did a least cost analysis, present value, interest factor analysis, which most people wouldn't be able to do. And I saw that I was a winner at varying levels on this thing. I was always going to be a winner on it. But they were selling these things when you don't have to do the least cost present value interest factor analysis when you're talking about interest rates, a fixed rate mortgage being like under 6%. I couldn't understand why people were doing this. It was ridiculous because it was pushing, the home values are going to go up and you'll be able to refinance. And there was a lot of marketing involved that flim-flammed the consumer. So yeah, the consumer bought into it. Demand was excessive and the home prices were going, and it was a balloon. My house at one point was probably worth $750,000, $800,000 worth. I should have sold it instead of running for Congress. I'd be better off, right? So now, what is my house worth now? 4 or 5. I mean, lots were 3/4 or were like $279 or something. A lot went for in my neighborhood, 5-acre lot. I think they're probably $130 now or something. I mean, there's what's wrong. But then these mortgages were packaged and securitized, and we got derivatives and swaps, and we got bets on interest rates and interest flows, and we got bets on whether companies like Merrill Lynch or J.P. Morgan or Goldman Sachs are going to go out of business or not. That's a swap, a derivative or whatnot. I mean, this is outrageous. So this is the asset base upon that makes up the foundation of our economy. Now it's all come crashing down. They would trade. I did a lot of research on this thing, okay, and I'd love to have a conversation with the Congresswoman about this because I know she wouldn't hold up for a second. She's on the House Finance Committee, and did we hear a peep out of her about any of this going on? Honestly, Anybody hear a peep?
I did see her on CBS Evening News one night.
I just hear us.
Yeah, after the fact.
Yeah.
After the fact. And that's typical. That's typical, whether it's Sheriff G, she intervenes in there. Yet, when we have a murder by an illegal immigrant and someone inquires, and I'm trying to inquire for this gentleman now who's a neighbor of a woman who was murdered by an illegal immigrant, they send this guy form letters. I got stacks of form. I probably have a couple in here, okay?
Go back to finance. You get elected, you're a congressperson.
I have the skill set.
You have the skill set.
I have the skill set, the motivation to be involved. What would be different? I'm going to go up there and ask questions. Again, did you hear anything from her out of the House Finance Committee? Do they take attendance at the House Finance Committee? Okay? What has been her involvement in the House Finance Committee? I realize there's like 70 people, but you know what? There's 70 people. John Russell will cut through those 70 people and represent the people of this district. Small business, seniors, veterans. That's what I'll do. I think you understand that. You know my personality. I'm not one to sit in a corner. I'm not there. I'm not going up to Washington to merely cash my check. And she is a career politician, over 18 years just in the state of Florida. And, this isn't my job. It is her job, and she's trying to keep it. Now, we're getting into these debates and conversations that the public wants to have. The public wants information more than ever before in this election. And what is the Congresswoman doing? She's only attending private events. Okay? That is just completely out of bounds. Not standing for election. Someone's responsible for the situation we find ourselves in, and it's not me, it's not anybody sitting at this table. It is our elected officials, and she's in the Congress of the United States representing over 500,000 people in this district, and yet we hear nothing out of her. She wants to hide. In hiding, she is attempting to hide me. She doesn't want to stand next to me because the contrast is marked. So, on the financial crisis, I have said repeatedly, and which after doing much research, listening to Princeton economists, Krugman, Alan Blinder, other couple guys, I don't remember their names, but description of this crisis and listening to the pundits and other economists on television, etc. This was really the wrong direction to go. So she voted, probably appropriately, but we do have to inject liquidity into the market. I would have voted against this thing too because it didn't meet my conditions. But I set forth conditions. She did not set forth conditions. These are on the front page of my website, and I can give you a copy of this. What should have been done, and is that let these banks and firms sell off all their garbage asset bundles for whatever the market will bear. There's your market-based move. Okay. Then we inject liquidity into these firms remaining. Some may gone out of business. Of course, they have anyway, like Lehman. Okay. But you inject liquidity in return for senior preferred stock in the firm, which gives us a top-level position with regard to ownership in the company. So at liquidation, we're at the top of the pyramid. The taxpayers are at the top of the pyramid. So therein is an example of the skill set that I bring, listening and understanding what is going on and how best to go forward. We're going to need people in this next Congress coming up that understand what's going on, are able to interject and engage in the debate. I will be engaged. The Congresswoman has not been engaged. Similar, the analogy I make is, I take someone's temperature in the hospital. That's baseline. Taking vital signs, that's absolutely baseline. Doing constituent service, like she talks about in the meager way that she does it, is baseline. Any congressman is going to have constituent service. You're not elected to Congress to do favors for people, okay? In return for writing a check or standing in a rally or wearing your t-shirt. That's not what you're elected to Congress to do. You're elected to Congress to engage in the policy development of the United States of America for all the people. That's the difference between a county commissioner state legislature, it just goes up the pyramid. This is the top of the pyramid, and we got bottom pyramid participation by our current representative. That's why I'm running.
War in Iraq has been a big piece of your campaign.
Going back.
You get elected. Where do you and the Democrats try to steer things now?
Clearly, our company, America as a company. America as a company is in extreme financial disrepair. The war has contributed to that. Financed with dollars from China, $10 to $13 billion a month borrowed from China, our national credit card is through the roof. You know, when we look at debt, balance of payments, etc., we are really at a point of succumbing to the largesse, and the war being a big part of that, a devaluation of our dollar related to all this borrowing we've done from, you know, foreign countries, principally China and Asian countries. I'm in agreement with President Maliki, with Barack Obama, that we need to begin the process of transferring security in Iraq over to the Iraqi people. It's their country, it's not our country. It's their country. You know, and it was, I got a chuckle a while back when I saw that the Iraqis, you know, we had, who was the guy that went in there, I forget, that we put in right away that kind of was overseeing things, one of Bush's friends. Yeah, it starts with a B. I was going to say it starts with a B. Okay, so much for history there. Anyways, the guy was setting up all these private arrangements for the oil companies. Okay, well, the Iraqis decided we're gonna go with you know, some other other countries and make some deals with. I think they were making deals with Russia and stuff. You know, it's like pulled the rug right out from under us. This was the investment we were making in the Middle East for, you know, all that plentiful oil. So it's like, come on. The key to this issue is alternative energy. Moving forward on alternative energy. This is the transition period. If not now, when? That is what's killing our economy. You know, the war and everything else. Look at all the plentiful and cheap energy that's available. I personally know two people. I ran into another guy up at the little veterans flea market last Saturday. Had a truck using the supplemental on-demand hydrogen. Okay, you know, gasoline, hydrogen increases your gas mileage, you know, like 20% or something like that. And you know, all this stuff is on the internet, being done in garages. Where's the investment there to move us forward? Demand. If we cut demand for petroleum 20%, what would that do? You know, to strengthen our country right now. Why aren't we doing this? Hand-in-glove relationship between legislators such as Ginny Brown-Waite, but Democrats as well. I mean, I'm not partisan in this. She is very hyper-partisan, as we all know, but I'm not partisan at all. It's Democrats taking money from corporate America, the lobbyists, in return for maintaining the status quo. I want to go to Washington to, you know, rock the world for the little people. I want to ask the questions that need to be asked for people like us sitting here. We're all working people, you know. I want to go there and represent all those people that are having trouble paying their mortgages, all those people who can't put their kids in college, all those people without health care, all those people like me.
You think Obama's going to win this part of the state? Is he helping?
I have to be. You know, honestly, I think it's kind of a mixed bag. But I am seeing Republicans talking about we need a change. You know, people identify themselves as Republicans, and you know, they're voting for Obama. I think Obama has a very good chance of winning the state of Florida. As far as this district goes, I'm pretty confident that I have a very good chance based on my opponent's behavior compared to the other times. I think they're pulling out all the stops to try and cut me off wherever they can, and you know, which is different from last time. If they don't think you're much of a threat, they don't have much, you know, they don't have much to do to you. But we do have you know, I think I am a threat this time. One reason she doesn't want to stand next to me and debate in front of people and in front of the press. We did a little debate I ended up with 3 District 9 Congress people because neither Bill Arrakis or her showed up. Bill Arrakis being her protege, okay? We need competent people in Congress. Neither Bill Arrakis or Ginny Brown-Waite are competent when it comes down to the problem solving that we're going to have to entertain in the next Congress. So I want to point out a few things here.
Never mind.
One thing here, if I can find it, you know, she uses the taxpayer dollars to promote herself throughout the year. Highest in the state, $173,000. Next closest person, less than, you know, she's more than doubled that. Then she uses her dollars. I think we've probably seen this. I know I have it in this pile of stuff here. She uses her dollars to go after her opponent. Here's the Wall Street bailout thing. It's on my website. Go after her opponent. Here it is, right here. And so she says John Russell's going to increase taxes on dividends. Now, you know, I have a very detailed policy on my website, as you all are aware. And in fact, Barack Obama has kind of taken on some of my ideas that I've had in the past. Prorating of capital gains. You know, we want to help the small businessman come up. And, you know, once you're at a certain level, you know, maybe you need to help our economy a little bit, and you pay a little bit more in taxes. Nobody's going to break your bank, okay? So I agree with Barack Obama, middle class. Nobody is going to pay, if they're making less than $250,000 in this district, and I don't think there's a whole lot of people making that kind of money, their taxes aren't going to be, I'm not opting for raising those people's taxes, you know, as a congressman. So she's lying about that. She's lying about, you know, as far as drilling goes. You know what? I am not for drilling in Anwar, and I'm not for drilling off the coast of Florida. Has anybody seen the water, what it looks like off of Galveston? Okay, what it looks like compared to the water here? It's not very appetizing. And I have an article here from the St. Pete Times 2005 that talks about the science of this, the loop currents. We'd be just ordinary operations, 1.65 billion pounds annually of arsenic and heavy metals going into the water, long-term degradation without a spill or any accidents or whatever, which would extend all the way around to Jupiter, Vero Beach. I mean, we have 3% of the world's oil, and we use 25% of it annually. Those numbers don't work. We need to move, transition to alternative energy. All that stuff's on my website in deep detail, why, what we have to do. So, you know, she says I've run 3 times and lost. I'm sorry, Congresswoman. This is my 3rd time running, and I have yet to lose. Okay? This American Nurses Association thing is a joke. I talked to the American Nurses Association. She prances up the street just as a defensive move in case John Russell is going to run against her again to get the endorsement of the American Nurses Association. She signs on a short staffing bill. Well, I called and spoke with the director at the American Nurses Association, Ms. Gonzalez. And I said, who do you think knows more about short staffing, myself or Ginny Brown-Waite? Well, I really can't answer that question. Well, you of course know the answer to that question. I've seen people die because of short staffing in emergency rooms, that sort of thing. I understand that. I understand staffing patterns and all, and how ICUs and so on should be staffed according to acuity. Most hospitals, at least the hospitals I work at, already have a staffing plan. They understand what's going on and listen to the charge nurse and the nurses on the floor. It's already in play. And who is for a national single-payer health plan, and who is for, you know, tied at the hips with the insurance companies? We know who is what. And the American Nurses Association, it's ludicrous that they would support someone who is so tied to the insurance company and totally adverse to a national single-payer health care plan. So she has a lot of, this is typical, she put out a ridiculous piece last time. Then we go to the ethics of being a congressperson. Does anybody here think that it's appropriate for an elected official to appear in advertisements for a commercial business? I don't know. You don't know? You know, I think you know, if you're perfectly honest, you're going to say, well, if you're in an advertisement for 8 weeks, with full circulation of the Tampa Tribune, advertising cancer care centers of Florida, clearly a commercial business. Then we have an issue of mutual benefit here, name recognition, thousands of dollars worth of advertising, and they benefit from perhaps her goodwill as a congressperson, and they're benefiting, and she's benefiting by that name recognition and association with a healthcare facility. Clearly a for-profit business. Clearly the congresswoman.
And what are they giving? Why is she in the advertisement? I hadn't seen it.
Because it's the celebrated their 25th anniversary and their grand reopening with the help of Congresswoman Ginny Brown-Waite.
Yeah.
It's a commercial business. I've never seen a senator or congressman open up a car dealership. You can make a copy of that. Open up a car dealership. It's just, I think there's probably some law that may be in play here. You might want to check her FEC reports and see if there's any in-kind contributions or whatnot here. But clearly, thousands of dollars worth of advertising expended for full circulation in Tampa Tribune for 8 weeks. I don't know how much that you guys charge for something like that, but it's in a healthcare thing. So I think, how one comports themselves as a congressman. Ethical behavior.
Do you have any idea whether her husband was treated here or not?
I have no idea whether he's treated there or not. Certainly he might have gotten radiation treatments, but you know what? That's immaterial. You go to the doctor. I don't advertise my physician. This is my physician. He's done well. Great for me. Let me put my arm around him and let the public, for all to see, this is who I go to as my physician.
Just wanted to know if you knew.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea about her personal, radiation, palliative radiation treatment certainly would be an option with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. That's not what any of this is about. This is about, what's right in her behavior as a congressperson. Whether it's going after Sheriff G 2 days before her primary election, where basically a non-candidate got 20% of the Republican vote. She's grandstanding, whether it was over at the Veterans Hospital in James Haley Veterans Hospital, where she made a big brouhaha over something that could have been handled with a couple of phone calls after you sat there for 2 hours and listened to it, tying up doctors and nurses and everybody else, psychologists. Whether it's the Brad King affair with the Cooey deal, I was looking back and saw that one in the paper, made a big stink about that. She is a blowhard. Okay, she's a blowhard. Okay,
that's a quote.
That's a quote. She's a blowhard.
Should I write that one down?
Yeah, go ahead. She's a blowhard, and she offers solutions for nothing. I believe that people are looking for someone who understands what's going on. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, maybe I'm totally wrong. I may be completely off base, but I'm here to analyze the problem, work on behalf of people like me, the middle class, working America, and to come up with solutions. Now, you didn't endorse me the last time, maybe it's not material whether I receive an endorsement or not. I would like your endorsement because I think I am, in this time, I believe we need someone of competence and motivation to actually do some work. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to go to work for the people of District 5 and for the people of America. Okay? That's what this is about. It's not just about keeping your job. I have a career that this has cost me money to do this. So it must be motivation, right? there must be something inside me to bring me here to this point today. And I think the people, if allowed to hear that, will respect that I am one of them.
Well, John, we appreciate you coming to see us. We definitely will let the people hear that. We hope, and we'll arrange that forum, Neil, so that you guys can come in later.
Mm-hmm.
And,
You want to be last, right?
you want to be last? We'll see if we can make that happen. John, thank you. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.